I am pleased to present the 13th president of Wayne State University, Dr. Kimberly Andrews Espy.
Wow. Thank you, Governors Stancato and Barnhill and the entire board who have entrusted me really with the presidency of this remarkable institution. I know the responsibility that comes with leadership is great, and I am keenly aware of the collaboration that will take for us to reach our shared goals. I also thank the members of our University Leadership Council for your partnership, all fundamental to the success of our university and the community. Please, everyone, join me too in recognizing my predecessors who are here today. President Emeritus M. Roy Wilson, who together with his wife Jacqueline have been so helpful to me and Paul in these early days. And President Emeritus Irvin D. Reed, who welcomed me with a thoughtful old school stamped letter that was filled with his characteristic wit and style. You are true, see, you know what I'm talking about. You are true warriors for what you've accomplished in leading Wayne State to our place of excellence today. And please, before I start, it's always important to thank everybody. Thank everybody who put on this wonderful, amazing investiture ceremony. I know many of you are standing in the back, so please, let us recognize you for your hard work. With David's kind introduction, I am honored and humbled to be here today in this truly iconic Detroit venue, where we stand together at the start of the next chapter for our university. We have the chance to do something we don't do often enough, to reflect on the essence that sets us apart. Wayne State is truly a special place, a dynamic force for Detroit and beyond, a nexus of learning and research, of access and community engagement that differentiates us in the higher education landscape. Now, higher education, though, is at a crossroads. On one hand, there isn't a week that goes by that some headline reflects a loss of faith in the value of higher education. And on the other, states and cities and counties underscore the value of a college degree in driving a robust 21st century economy. From our vantage point, it may seem somewhat puzzling of how places of higher learning that have served so many and benefited our society so much would be under such scrutiny. If we listen to these voices and distill the critiques, there are some nuggets of truth from which we can learn. There are talented students who can't gain admission. There are families who desire higher education and cannot afford it. There are universities that espouse inclusion, where students do not feel like they belong or can succeed. And there is important scholarly research that languishes in our laboratories or on our shelves, not translated into new approaches that could benefit us all. As universities grapple with these critiques in my mind, Wayne State provides the answer. We stand steadfast as a place of innovation and transformation and connection. For our students, we provide access to an unparalleled learning environment for all. For our remarkable faculty and staff, we provide support for first-class teaching, world-changing scholarly research, and impactful leadership. And for our community, we are Detroit-powered, deeply engaged to serve others. I always say that Wayne State is in the heart of our community, we work for our community, and we do so with our community. Wayne State answers the question of the value of higher education, both for our local impact on our community and for our national influence and global import. There are few universities who provide such a compelling answer. That's why I'm so thrilled to be here at Wayne State, here in the Motor City, and that's why I chose higher education as my purpose. What we do at its heart is transformation. And while it may sound cliche to say we change lives or change the world, simply put, that's what Wayne State does. Full stop. So let me unpack a little bit about the path that brought me here. a journey defined by a love of discovery and learning and a commitment to its transformative power. My story, like many university faculty, is guided by inspiration and mentorship, scholarly inquiry, and perhaps more than anything, a driving curiosity. Okay, now those of you who know me, I must admit, the whole talking about myself thing is really not my forte. I was trained in an era when the personal was often viewed as a distraction or a barrier to the professional. So I'm much more comfortable highlighting others. And in fact, there are far too many remarkable people at Wayne State for me to recount each of their stories here today. Like many of our students, my path was not linear. I was fortunate to have outstanding faculty mentors like David Francis, and incredible faculty colleagues like Jerry Richmond, and study section peers like David Rosenberg, and many others who have challenged and nudged and inspired me, including someone who is really only alive in my mind, someone probably a little unexpected, Nancy Drew. I loved reading as a girl, and Nancy Drew was kind of my hero of sorts. And the reason why is she served others by asking questions. She worked collaboratively with her teammates by taking deliberate action to solve problems. And while I have certainly come to recognize the privileged life that Nancy led, her stories underscore the value of inquiry, of identifying needs and gathering the facts and considering the data, of doing to serve others. I was hooked not just on the books themselves, but more importantly on the value of questioning, of critical analysis, and of elucidating outcomes. My higher education odyssey continued then with a drive to explicate the dynamics of the developing human brain and its behavior, how it gets off track with various medical conditions, and what that means for key life outcomes. The journey to uncover these complexities fueled my commitment to nurturing the student minds that shape our future and to advancing public research universities that spur their transformation. Like Nancy Drew and like our Wayne State faculty and staff, we devote our lives to understanding and answering complex questions so that others can thrive. Now, here in Detroit, standing before you as the first woman president in the distinguished history of our university, and as a female clinician scientist who relished in learning and discovery, I am so proud to knit my journey with Wayne State's path forward. Each of us has our own story, and yet we share a drive for opportunity and for hard work and dedication. Here in Detroit and in the Midwest, we would call that grit. Now, together, let's compose. We can actually compose Wayne State's next chapter. So after months of reading and listening and engaging with our faculty and students and staff, our alumni, our community leaders, and so many university friends, I see a cornerstone for our collective aspirations, an agenda really to drive prosperity for our community. Now, this agenda is not a set of goals or ideas that live on paper. Rather, it's a living promise, a commitment to action for all who Wayne State touches, a focused purpose for our collaborative work to further a prosperous future for our students, for our graduates, and for our community. The Prosperity Agenda is not a new strategic plan. Our moment in time ably serves that function, nor is it a new tagline or a brand campaign, although I do hope it's both memorable and inspiring to our efforts ahead. Think of the Prosperity Agenda as an organizing framework that bridges directly to our community, supporting our progress towards achieving our strategic plan goals, as directed actions to fulfill our shared promise to better the lives of our students, to support our faculty in pushing the boundaries of new knowledge even further, and to strengthen the bonds that interconnect Wayne State and our community. If the strategic plan is our compass, the Prosperity Agenda is our purpose that propels our work forward each and every day. Now, when I think about this, there are three pillars that comprise our Prosperity Agenda. The first is centered on our students, accelerating mobility. It deepens our purpose as a university of opportunity, fundamental to the generations since our founding and reflected in so many in this room. I must say, here in Detroit, we know what mobility is. Mobility takes you to a different place than where you started. With a Wayne State degree, mobility means generational change, an education that changes the life trajectory of our students and spawns a legacy of future impact and benefit for generations to come. With unity in purpose and actions, we can lift this legacy to even greater heights, accelerating mobility for every student from all backgrounds to achieve their life dreams. While many talk about mobility, few universities move mobility at scale like we do at Wayne State. The renowned public policy think tank Third Way ranked Wayne State as a Tier 1 institution in its 2023 Economic Mobility Index, the only Michigan research institution to achieve this mark. Now, how do we do this? How do we lead? I know, it's awesome. So how do we lead in this way? First, our driven students are pluralistic from so many diverse backgrounds and have overcome countless challenges to seize the opportunity for a high-quality education. Wayne State has opened our doors even wider for students who have been underserved or marginalized, with so many programs that knock down barriers to access and that enable degree success at rates on par with our national benchmarks. Second, our top-tier faculty, Carnegie R1 faculty, are second to none. There you go. Our Wayne State students are taught by notable faculty who are on the cutting edge of scholarly discovery. Faculty who also use innovative, engaging methods in their teaching that connect to Detroit's rich resources, who bring the context of business, nonprofits, government, and healthcare directly into the academic environment in tangible ways that enables true assimilation. Like Dr. Jamie Goodrich, Joe Torok, and their Department of English colleagues, who bring together students in writing, design, production, and through engagement with community experts, develop the professional skills needed to publish our Rushton Journal in the Humanities. Guided by our faculty like these, Wayne State students apply their strong classroom didactics in real-world contexts and develop marketable competencies, creative thinking, empirical analysis, teamwork, effective communication, which prepare them for thriving careers and meaningful lives. I know, though, we can do even more for our students. Together, we can be the best top-tier research university for mobility, the absolute best. For our university and community to prosper together, we can rise to the opportunity and turbocharge Detroit's talent pipeline. A degree alone is not enough. All of our warriors should have this edge, the added advantage of a Detroit-powered learning by doing academic experiences that foster the competencies that employers in all sectors seek. We must better highlight and expand these rich partnerships of our academic faculty with the tremendous city assets that surround us. That's what our College to Career Initiative, launched in November, is all about. It's about accelerating mobility for all. In my mind, what better way to erase the doubt and show the value of a Wayne State education than preparing our graduates for a lifetime of prosperity and civic leadership? With roughly 8 in 10 of Wayne State graduates choosing to stay in Michigan and work in Michigan, what better message to our state that we are electrifying our future with graduates like Fatima that you met earlier, who are ready to make their mark here. That's accelerating mobility for our students, and it means driving prosperity for our community. The second pillar of our prosperity agenda affirms our commitment to empower health for our urban neighborhoods. Wayne State is so much more than a set of buildings. We are intertwined in the well-being and the progress of our city since our founding as a medical college in 1868. Today, in some ways, Wayne State is Michigan's health and sciences and professions university, with roughly 1/3 of our students studying in health-related programs. Our responsibility, though, extends well beyond our academics. As a top-tier public research university in the heart of our vibrant city, we must confront the real health challenges of our urban families who we live next to and work with every day. Now, what distinguishes Wayne State? You know that we teach and work and deliver care in every one of our major healthcare systems in our region. But we also do so in churches and recreation centers and grocery stores and other hubs throughout our community to tackle diseases overwhelmingly overrepresented in our neighborhoods. Take Dr. Haley Thompson's community-built checkup program, an effort in our Karmanos Cancer Institute with McLaren Healthcare. Joining with 16 active church partners in the Faith Community Research Network, CheckUp is empowering Detroit's community members to actively participate in the research, design, and implementation, to access clinical trials and other health research, and to share findings with each other. Or Phil Levy and team, who in contrast use population-level surveillance methods in their Wayne Health mobile unit. These equipped vans are dispersed to meet folks where they gather to deliver life-saving preventative screenings. With over 90,000 visits to date and the help of big data clinical informatics, the average blood pressure of entire neighborhoods has been reduced. What a phenomenal impact of these two very different and yet complementary programs. These are just a few among the thousands of examples day in and day out that empower health in our urban neighborhoods, all grounded in the rigorous research inquiry that defines top-tier research universities. There are very few universities that put research into action like Wayne State does, not just for the sake of knowledge, but for the purpose of driving prosperity for our community. Now, there remains, however, so much unmet need in Metro Detroit and in so many other urban centers throughout Michigan. These health disparities are stubborn because they're so entrenched, and the dents we have made can seem small in comparison. Our opportunity, our responsibility really, is to put our foot on the gas and move more research further into action. In my own research with infants and their mothers who use drugs during pregnancy, I met families in their homes. I learned their stories and engaged them directly in the research and treatment process and improved outcomes. I worked to move the research insights gained from these women into action to change the trajectory of the lives of others for the better. This is a microcosm of what we can and should do. With collective action, Wayne State can rise to our responsibility to our urban neighborhoods. Our university-wide planning effort to establish a community-focused School of Public Health is one important initiative that's already underway. I know that by unleashing our outstanding faculty and collaborating with our many valued partners, we can tackle these unacceptable health inequities. What better way to demonstrate our value than using our R1 Research University prowess to empower health for our urban neighborhoods today and long into the future? Now, some people will say higher education is out of touch, but you know, to me, Wayne State is very much in touch, and as Nancy would say, on the case. Now, finally, let's embrace the third pillar, fueling innovation for our competitiveness. Such a fitting purpose in a city that has defined invention for the past century. In an ever-evolving world, and particularly in our region, the motor of progress is the spirit of creation. Wayne State can nourish this spirit by fostering an environment where ideas bear fruit, where entrepreneurship flourishes, and where our region thrives as an innovation hub for 21st century commerce. The next generation will have their turn to lead, and it's our duty to equip them with the tools and, as importantly, the creative spirit of innovation that they will need. These leaders have and will come from Wayne State. Through industry and intelligence and integrity, all reflected in Wayne State's seal, we are among the most productive institutions in the top 120 of the some 4,000 in higher education. Our research culture supports the discovery of new and unexpected advances and the development of solutions targeted to our human challenges, many endemic to urban life. Improving clean air and water, creating new mobility methods, gaining a deeper understanding of ourselves as social creatures through the arts, social sciences, and humanities. One of the most rewarding results from my own research is the development of a commercial test that's used to diagnose developmental disorders around the globe. Ideas from all types of creative scholarship can lead to new products and practices and companies, which ignite new sparks of our future prosperity. TechTown, Wayne State's Research and Technology Park, is a hub of entrepreneurship and small business support. It's nurtured over 6,000 businesses in our region, created more than 2,200 jobs, and raised more than $400 million in capital. Dr. Patrick Hines, driven by his work in the clinic and the research laboratory, for example, founded Functional Fluidics, a biotech company that's creating new red blood cell markers that are key in sickle cell disease. Now, supported by TechTown, the company now has more than 30 employees, 3 testing labs, and is expanding into Nigeria. Yeah. It all started with a person, a Wayne State faculty member with a great idea, which then buttressed with TechTown's programs now helps people all over the world. That's how Wayne State fuels innovation. To compete as a top 10 state, as our state leadership, reflected by Lieutenant Governor Gilchrist, stated, we need to move more of our research insights further into innovative technologies, new medicines, and new practices. We need to include all of those with the talent and drive in our innovation ecosystem. We need to nurture their great ideas into going concerns. And we need to build on Michigan's legacy of remarkable makers to fuel a sustainable 21st century future. Imagine a Wayne State campus that's open for business, where Detroit's industry and nonprofit and healthcare and government employers can easily engage with our talented faculty and students, where their ideas are supported from beginning to end to reality. A campus seamlessly intertwined with our city, where artists and entrepreneurs and social innovators mix with our university colleagues to change our world. Wayne State is so fortunate to have so many alumni and community leaders like Gary Torgo and Eva Garza DeWalsh, sorry, that's a long one, as you've heard today, who stand ready to help. Wayne State has already begun our reorganization of our tech commercialization approach, which really is only an initial step, with many more to come. With the collaboration of our city and county, thank you to Mayor Duggan and County Executive Evans for your support today, we can spawn many, many more functional fluidics together. Now, in my mind, then, what better way to silence higher education critics than to demonstrate Wayne State's role as an engine of innovation for our 21st century commerce. Detroit is and always has been a city of doers that move our world. At Wayne State, we can move more research into innovation to create value, to bend Michigan's competitiveness trajectory, and to drive prosperity for our community. Now, the prosperity agenda is not my vision. It's our shared commitment as a university to our community. It's a call to action for each one of us, our students, faculty and staff, alumni and friends, to stand shoulder to shoulder with unprecedented purpose and enthusiasm to further Wayne State as an engine of opportunity to drive prosperity for all. Now, how do we accomplish this? My answer is simple. We can rise to this opportunity because of our notable faculty, of our remarkable students, and our dedicated staff, who are leaders and pathfinders and innovators who inspire us every day. When we unite, there is nothing we can't accomplish. Wayne State truly transforms lives, and we need to invest in ourselves and our purpose. We can lift up this treasured university by telling our story, and all of us should do so with pride and with confidence and with volume. No more of the hidden gem. That's my one motto. Gems are created to sparkle brightly, and we need to burnish our place and invest in our infrastructure to support our great people. We owe it to ourselves, our community, our history, and our future to create an environment that is both beautiful and welcoming externally and effective internally. Let's work to have Wayne State shine for the world to see. Now, the excitement that I have to lead this university is immense, and I can rise to this opportunity because of my family. My children have traveled from every corner of the United States to be here, and you make me smile and laugh every day. You're my true joy. Now I'm going to get all weepy. So I'm so proud of each of the unique individuals that you've become. Nothing would be possible, though, without my spouse, Paul. He is my partner and has been at my side in every triumph and every turbulence, and there have been a few, and everything in between, all while you pursued your own work. You bring out the best in me, and you are my greatest fan. It's my family's love and support. It's my family's love and support that fuels me to lead Wayne State's next chapter. Can you all rise so that I can please thank you? I know it hasn't always been easy, but you do mean more to me than I sometimes show. You enable me to stand tall for the journey ahead. Now, even though today, though, is really not about me, it's actually about us. It's about every single person who has made a mark on this special place, both past, present, and future. You are here today because you care deeply about Wayne State and will work together for our boundless future. In my mind, this is our moment in time, and every second counts towards rising to our opportunity ahead. Let's write Wayne State's next chapter together. Let's transform more lives. The future rests on the many generations to come. And let's do our part to accelerate mobility for our students, to empower health for our urban neighborhoods, and to fuel innovation for our competitiveness. Let's drive prosperity for our community because together we are warrior strong. Thank you all for joining us.